Hi guys, I know you can't see me, but you don't even want to know the crazy contraption I have set up to get my phone recording like this. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of go through some of this packet and let you follow along, see how you're doing it, make sure you're doing it right, and I want to first go ahead and apologize because I said I was gonna do this yesterday and it didn't happen. I wanted to do this earlier today and then I quickly realized Walker wouldn't let me. So I needed to wait until today or tonight. So Walker's in bed. Now I can do what I need to do. Would you like to see? See, Walker's in bed. There he is. He's sleeping. He's laying right there. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start from the top. Let me grab a pen. And okay, so the first thing on day one, which should have been Monday or not, yeah, Monday for you. I don't even know what day it is anymore, y'all. Okay, so day one is where you're gonna practice writing hooks. So remember, you write 3 hooks. They start with imagine, picture, and visualize. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and start that with putting my imagine, picture, and visualize right here. Okay. And you do 3 hooks and you do 1 for each of your 3 reasons in your claim. So what you have there is your claim. So it says, I believe school should start later since students will depend less on caffeine to stay awake throughout the day. Students would get home later and be alone less, and students would do better in school because they're getting more sleep. Okay, so that hook, I'm trying not to hit the table so much and it shakes, I'm sorry. So that has 3 claims in it, it has 3 support ideas. So the first support idea is right here. Students will depend less on caffeine to stay awake throughout the day. That's support reason number 1. So I'm just gonna put number 1 right there. The second support reason for this is students would get home later and be alone less. So over here, I'm gonna put number 2. And then the third reason is students would do better in school because they're getting more sleep, and that is number 3. So that means your imagine hook is gonna be about depending less on caffeine to stay awake throughout the day. Your picture hook is about students getting home later and being alone less. And your visualize hook is going to be about students doing better in school because they're getting more sleep. Okay, so remember what you need to do is this is where you think of crazy, dramatic examples of these things happening. Now, this is the tricky part. You want all 3 hooks to match. So you want either all 3 hooks to be bad things or all 3 hooks to be good things. Because remember, what comes after the hooks is your bridge sentence, the this could happen if sentence. So you want all of your hooks to be good or bad because then that'll make your bridge work. So now here is the other thing. You don't want to just copy what the support reason says. So we wouldn't say, imagine students depending less on caffeine. That is not a hook. Nobody is interested in hearing that. So I think for this one, our best bet is to go bad and go on the bad side. So, because it's really hard to come up with an imagine students being wide awake, which I guess is fine. I mean, you could say like, imagine students skipping their way to class because they're well rested. I don't know. I don't like it as much as we could do bad. So let's do bad. So imagine, so students depend less on caffeine to stay awake throughout the day. So let's go bad. If they don't get to sleep more, they will depend on caffeine more, right? So let's go with that bad stuff. What can happen if kids are depending on caffeine to stay awake? They could get all of those side effects from caffeine, like jitteriness. So, and then we can kind of feed off of that. They're so jittery that they can't even hold their pencil in class. So That's hook number 1 done. So imagine a student so jittery they can't even hold a pencil. Okay, done. So now we're ready for our picture one. That's the one that's going to be about students getting home later and being alone less. We're going on the bad side. So we're talking about them being home early and being alone for a long time. So we got to think of what could happen if kids are alone for a long time, and if a kid isn't supervised, what could happen. So how about this is a harder one. And it's okay. Do you see how I'm having to take the time and try to think of something? I'm not going to just throw something on the paper. I'm going to wait and I'm going to see if I can figure out what would be a good hook for this. So picture someone, picture a middle schooler burning the house down because there was no one there to supervise them. How about that? Picture a middle schooler burning the house down. I'm just gonna do that. I think that's nice and dramatic, and it makes them think, wait, whoa, hold up, how can they burn this house down? And you'll explain that later on, obviously, in that body paragraph, but I kind of like that drama of like burning the house down. Okay, now we're ready for visualize. So that's the one that's going to be doing better in school because they're getting more sleep. Okay, we're going on the bad side. So that means they're doing bad in school because they're not sleeping well. So visualize, and I just keep picturing a kid failing all his classes because he can't stay awake. And that's what I'm going to say. Visualize, and I kind of like saying a kid. So remember, we've talked about trying not to repeat ourselves over and over. So we said a student here. We said a middle schooler here. I'm going to say a kid here. Visualize a kid failing their classes because they can't stay awake. All right, and there it is. There's your 3 hooks. And then, so remember, these match now, which will be helpful if you were going to write this all out in your intro. It would say, you would do it has recently come to my attention that some people believe school should start later. Imagine a student so jittery they can't even hold a pencil. Visualize a middle schooler burning the house down. Or picture a middle schooler burning the house down. Visualize the kid. I think I said all of that wrong. I think I said 17 different words that weren't right. Edit and go back. And I can't edit it. I'm putting this up. Bear with me. It's 10 p.m. Okay. So it would say, it has recently come to my attention that many people believe school should start later, etc., etc. Imagine a student so jittery they can't even hold a pencil. Picture a middle schooler burning the house down. Visualize a kid failing their classes because they can't stay awake. This could happen so these things could happen if school didn't start later. And if we had done the opposite side and done the positives, gone the good way, it would be this could happen if school starts later. So you have to just make it match. These all need to match and be either all good things or all bad things. And they should all be things that happen if school starts later or school doesn't start later. And then you just make that match. So that is number 1. It's a 9-minute video for number 1. But again, hopefully a lot of you knocked this out. You've watched this and you went, okay, I did it right, thanks. So let me know if this makes sense and if you need any more help with this one. Bye.